here at the Silver and Gold Summit in San Francisco. My co-host, Frank Holmes of U.S. Global Investors, joins us now. Frank, good to see you.
Great to be here.
Great to be here with you, Frank. And I just want to say you are one of the few who, for the longest time, were saying, don't look at Trump and gold, but Clinton perhaps would have been the better play for gold. And could that just be the reality we're living in? Everyone thought, 1,400 gold with Trump, nowhere to be found here.
Absolutely, and I think what you saw this past week was $1 billion trade out of gold going into tips for inflation, bonds, so they're looking for income. And the threat is rising interest rates that will close the spread, because a year ago we had positive real rates of return on 5-year government bonds, and they went negative, so gold took off, and now it's slowly getting back to, they're still negative, but if we don't get inflation spiking here, gold falls.
But what were you thinking that night? On Tuesday night, when gold almost rallied at $80 at one point. What was going through your mind?
My thoughts were that there's just this big change. All I could do is there's a big change going on, because I was really concerned regarding the media, and I thought with Wall Street Journal coming out showing how Facebook was polarizing, making Democrats more upset and making Republicans more upset, and so a lot of the stuff was being cleansed. And I think today Obama was saying that Trump is not an ideologue, but he is a pragmatist. And what we've been running the world, and why Brexit took place, was ideologues, and maybe we're getting back to pragmatism.
I know it's almost impossible to see where we're going to go with monetary policy now. We'll most likely get a new Fed head. Trump has alluded to getting rid of Yellen. How do you think this is all going to play out now?
Well, I think there's still a massive debt load, and I think that Mark Faber called it well. He's going to have a record debt of 20 trillion. So I think that it's very difficult to wrestle. Rates rise too quickly for him. That rollover is going to be very expensive on servicing that debt. But deregulation is going to be important. If you don't get massive deregulation and rates rise, we have a big recession coming. So it's a balancing act between those two. So he says he's going to drop taxes and he's going to drop regulations, then rates can rise and everything's going to be okay. But inflation will come if he slaps on tariffs on China of 35%. You know what that means to all the Walmart buyers, which is the largest distributor buyer? That means their inflation on buying anything has gone up 35%. So you better go and buy all your color TVs. Your iPhones are going to jump at least 35%. Because the parts are coming out of China.
Right. Now, okay, so how does that play and factor into copper, for example, which this week and last week really jumped on the news of Trump, because he has said that he'd spend so much more on infrastructure. So we're seeing the industrial metals do well. So do you think these metals will continue to benefit?
Yes, I think the zincs will do well. I think the silver will get off the sentiment with gold. But I'm not bearish on it. It's going through a big correction because you have all this change taking place, but they can't get away from $150 trillion of global debt.
All right, nowhere to escape from that.
No.
Frank Holmes, thanks so much for joining us on Sidelines here of the Silver and Gold Summit in San Francisco. We'll have much more for you on Kitco.com, so be sure to stay tuned. Thanks so much.